Hey y'all, we're back out in the garage. I'm gonna run you through a couple things we're doing here. Let me grab you. We're messing around with the gas caps for the Margay tank. We disassembled the whole spiel. I mean, there's the cap, and then there's the inner bit, right? And because we don't want any venting out of these caps, we don't want any fuel to come out because we've added our own vent to the tanks. So I filled it with basically DevCon Marine Techs. Sanded everything up real real good with the little Dremel deal there, and filled up this bit too. So once we sand everything hardens up, we'll sand it all flat. We'll put the paper and stuff back in there, and we should be good to go. Everything will be, as you can see, the glue is actually coming right through that little pinhole and a little air hole. So while that's setting up, we're going to mess around over here. We want to take the bodywork off to put water. We're ready to put water in the system, but before we do that, and then got to put it back on, I figured I'd go ahead and work on the fresh air tube. Yes, we already had one for the RVXX, but this is the RVS. Water pipes in front of the ignition instead of behind the ignition, like the old or on the newer motor. And the cylinder is really leaned forward instead of being straight up and down, and the whole engine is a lot longer than the RVXX is really only this long. So the tube that we made up for the RVXX that we used at MIS, not going to work here. And instead of altering it, because I may have to put the RVXX back on, I figured I would just go ahead and take some more of this blueprint drawing tubing, and make another one. So what we did is we obviously we want to direct the air right at the ignition. So we cut. And we'll put a wall in there so it blows the air right on the stator, or right at it anyway. And then we just have to connect. We have this here. We know where we are here. We know where we need to go. It's just like the video where I showed you I made the motor mounts. You have A and B, and you connect the two as best you can. So we knew you could only go so far front to back before we were going to run into the seat strut. And we know the seat is clear, but we've still got to turn and go up that way. So as you can see, we cut an angle on that piece here, and this is the piece we cut off, and then we'll just rotate. Same way we do to make the 90-degree pipe fit our cart. We cut right on the welds and rotate the cones, right? We're just going to cut. So by doing this a bunch of times, you get an eyeball of how much angle to cut. You really want to cut about half as much angle as you want, because you're going to have angle on both pieces. And as you rotate, one cut is going to do twice the movement or the angling. So let me see if I can get you here again. And so we've got our bottom piece. We've got a couple index marks here. Yeah, let's go ahead and line it up first. And you can use some tape. I got tape holding just this piece of cardboard on here just to give me an idea of what I got going. But we'll line everything up and then go ahead and sit it back up in here. And you can see we're starting to head up toward that NACADUCT. So it's going to be tight. It is relatively tight, but you want it tight because we don't want to have to tie it down or hose clamp it down or anything. We just hold it to the NACADUCT up there, and the tube will stay in place. So I'll go ahead and continue playing around, cutting more tubes and clocking them around, rotating them around here. See what we've got to do to get, past the seat strut. Maybe those marks aren't. I need to turn it a little bit more. So there you go. I mean, I marked these things before I cut this angle off. I might not have cut it exactly straight, and to straighten that out, it kind of put my index marks on these other pieces a little out of whack. But you get the idea. It's basic model making, guys. This is nothing. Pattern making. Nothing to it. There's no rocket science to this. If you have any kind of vision, if you can actually, you know what you want to do, this is where you're at and this is where you're coming from, and you just put it together. You just connect the two dots as best you can. It'll be sweet. I'll hot glue that thing together, and then I'll wrap it with the tinfoil tape again, that ducting tape, and we'll to make sure it works. And then eventually, someday down the line, we can use what we have as a model or a mold, and we can make it out of carbon. You know, we got carbon fiber up here. We got obviously have fiberglass material everywhere. It's not a structural bit, so it won't weigh anything, whether you make it out of polyester and glass or you make it out of epoxy and carbon. It's not. It doesn't need to be durable like a nose or a side panel or a floor tray. So that's it. That's what I'm messing around with today. I want to try to get this thing, hooked up so I can remove the rest of the body work, and we can start dumping the water in, filling it up, hook the battery up, and pump the water through the system and make sure nothing's just leaking straight away. And then, of course, by then the fuel caps will be done. We can dump some fuel in it, make sure the tanks don't leak, and then we can start her up and run heat through everything, get everything happy and cooking and expanding, and make sure nothing's leaking. I got, today is let's go over to the calendar and look. Today's, that's May, we're done with May. Today's the 2nd of June. Right, so we're Saturday the 1st. It's the 1st of June. So I got doctor's appointment Monday, the 3rd, first thing in the morning, to have ultrasound obviously on the clots, the existing clots I had in my leg. Been on the Xarelto. I mean, no pain, none of that kind of thing. But the doc needs to have an idea of what's going on in there. And I do sometimes when I go to bed feel something in my right leg. So he's going to do both legs. They're going to ultrasound both legs, take a look at what's going on. And then, of course, I need to ask him about protocol or whatever it is, whatever kind of rules to follow about temporarily getting off the medicine because I need a tooth yanked. I'm 54 and I've never had a colonoscopy, so I need to have that done. And he's the guy that's going to do that. And I got stones. I'm loaded up with stones in my gallbladder, and it really needs to be removed because when I eat food with any kind of high fat content, I double over in pain. It hurts. And so we need to get rid of that. So to do that, we have to be off this thinner and anticoagulant so we can clot to heal. And so I'm going to ask him about that. And of course, once he gives me a program to get off the medication temporarily to have these surgical things done or this dental work done, then of course I can throw at him, well, how about getting off the medication for a weekend so we can go have some fun. We'll see what he's got to say. This doctor's really cool. He has actually really felt bad about having to give me the bad news of being on this medicine temporarily or maybe permanently, and how that would affect the hobby, the sport, and my what I do to make a buck out here. It's not just go-karts. We work on all kinds of junk out here. But that's it. I'm going to have to talk to him on Monday and find out where we go from there. Still have the hematologist right before 4th of July. He's going to rerun all those blood tests again and find out if we still have a false positive or if it was a good positive on one of these blood tests that he ran. And then I guess we'll know more about what's going on with our blood at that point. But Mid-Ohio, a couple of weeks. Me and Brother Kenny are coming down. I booked a hotel. Yep, that's right. Staying in a hotel. I'm not bringing a trailer or a go-kart, even if the doctor will let me go. I'll save any kind of testing of the water system and what we got going for Grattan. It's closer to home. It'll be hotter, ambient temperature by then. And that's what we want, to test the water temperature. We want the hottest possible conditions. I'm not going to race. I'm going to test. We didn't get our April test in, and so I'm already behind the 8 ball. Got some things going on with the new F-125, or the backup car we were going to build. We got an engine program we were working on. We talked about that a long time ago back in some other videos about an engine program, and I'll be working on that. That's really why I'm going to Mid-Ohio, to hang around with my contact there for an engine program for this thing. And we may get, I've just got off the phone with Tony H. How's it going, Tony? He's trying to talk me into putting his TM on this cart and building the car and just selling it to him. A lot of the parts, the brake components and some of the components we're putting on this car belong to Tony. He bought them brand new for us to build him an F-125, and then plans just changed. He's got a CIK shifter cart. and he was running that, and just his plans changed to build a laydown, and now maybe we'll put that whole plan back together again. Who knows? But don't rightly know. Maybe we end up with a new engine program for the hot rod, and God forbid we get rid of the Vortex stuff, man. I don't have a tattoo yet, but I like my Vortex, you know. I'm kind of attached. So that's it. That's where we're at right now. Any of y'all that are going down to Mid-Ohio, have a safe trip. We'll see you there. We're hanging out. We'll be there, me and Kenny, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Kenny's going to give Jerry Cole and his boys a hand. I'm looking forward to seeing Jerry and Sue Eccles and Gene and the whole crew at Dark Cart, Chuck, Colleen. Wife's not going. She's going to stay home and work. One of us got to work, so one of us will play while the other's working. But to all the friends out there, God bless, Godspeed. Keep us in your prayers. We're praying for y'all. It can only get better from here, right? We know it can always be worse. But that's what we're doing. We're playing around out in the garage. Love y'all. God bless you.